Women Innovators. Interviews with women with big messages and big missions, sharing their stories to inspire you to live your passion and step up to make the world a better place. Here's your host, Tammy Patzer.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'd really like to introduce you to today's guest, Jodi Hinkle. Jodi is the founder and CEO of HerQuest, and she is a seasoned business development strategist who has finely tuned her ability to assess, develop, and design collaborative business solutions. With 20 plus years in corporate America, Jodi has transitioned her leadership for fostering collective alliances among women entrepreneurs. She's eager to blend customer engagement strategies among aligned businesses, and she helps guide business owners who want to leverage their expertise to even more success through an assessment and enhancement of their customer engagement systems. Welcome, Jodi.
Hey there. Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, it's really great to know you because HerQuest is a little bit different because many people are transitioning from that corporate world, which is very structured and different than being an entrepreneur. So it sounds to me like HerQuest is something that people need to have that support system and guidance and a roadmap. So tell me more about exactly what you do.
Sure. So the system really invites a careful selection of 6 business owners that have an aligned ideal client, complementary services and products, and we create a strategic team approach to positioning each individual business in a highlighted way that the expertise shines, gets noticed, and moves prospects to taking really action, an inspired action based on the messaging that we all cooperate and collaborate in positioning in the right way through social media, as well as networking, and even one-to-one introduction and referrals are built in. And so collectively, we all achieve success. And because we build the individual business owner's primary goals into the collective plan as well, the business owner is winning on the individual side as well as on the collective side. So it comes down to strategy and a team approach.
So a team approach, so you're actually getting people to work with other people for the benefit of all. So it's a very strong collaboration. So what are the 3 main things that your business or service can do to really help women entrepreneurs? So
each of us have customers that go through a emotional journey as they're working with us. And so the first thing that we do is really take a close look at the ideal client research that folks have typically already done, and we take it a step deeper and look at the emotional ebb and flow that comes with engaging with us around our business solution. Many times we're trying to help people shift something and create sustainable change or learn a new skill and apply it to be able to be more impactful in some way. And all of that causes an emotional reaction. It'll be different for everybody because it's based on the lifelong experiences that we have had thus far. And so when the business owners can understand that unique ebb and flow that customers can go through emotionally, that may influence a buying decision, that may cause some resistance as they're working through some somewhat difficult moments in creating change, we can proactively engage in a way that gets them to that buying decision, make the right decision for themselves, and then really work through full application of what it is we have to offer in our solutions so that they receive the full impact.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths surrounding what you do? Because I know that sometimes people have these perceptions or visions of what it is like to work with someone like you who's trying to help them. So what are the biggest myths that you run into?
I actually love this question because I'm a sort of a bold communicator. I like to put things right on the table and work things through. I consider HerQuest really a living workshop for women entrepreneurs to learn to negotiate and problem solve and advocate for what they're worth. And so we do have some difficult conversations together. But I love to invite people to have a conversation out loud about what's in it for me. We're teams of one for the most part. So unless we're a part of a larger team strategic effort, every minute of our day is critical. And so how we decide how to spend our time is very important. And so to lead with what's in it for me can sound selfish, but it's actually quite wise. It's very smart of a business owner to be thinking about that. As we invest our time and even our money into things that line up with our business strategy and our business planning, we're making smarter choices. And in fact, those conversations have led to unique opportunities that result. Very recently, I was invited to participate in a virtual collaboration, a woman who's reaching out to mompreneurs as her ideal client. And I could see the value in a expert collaboration team for her and her clients, but there really wasn't a whole lot in it for me or the other expert contributors. And so I was so proud of her. She heard me and she had an open mind and we talked it through. And we actually ended up taking her offer for the experts to contribute, and they had earned an affiliate fee and a few other very nice benefits, and blended in the HerQuest Business Alliance so that those expert practitioners and business owners are actually creating a package of services to sell to the clients within this virtual platform. So we're getting a passive income stream in addition to the few things that were already, on the what's in it for us list. And so she got to enhance her offer, bring more value to her virtual clients, and the expert collaborators got to create a passive income stream for themselves. So it was a win-win. And that's where I think that conversation goes. What's in it for me leads to a win-win.
Wow. So the big myth then is that people think when they ask what's in it for me, that they're being selfish, but the reality is they're actually being proactive and it's useful to everyone when you actually start looking at it from that positive perspective.
Yes.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and when one person has the courage to really start that conversation, most of the time the other people around the table, in the room or on Zoom, wherever it is you're communicating, they're really grateful that somebody opened up that open-minded conversation because it invites them to be honest as well.
Yes, honesty breeds trust.
Yes.
So that in business is really important. So do you have some tips that you could share about creating your own business?
Yes. The first one, I actually shared this the other day, and it's so powerful. I kind of say it every time I'm asked this question. You mentioned coming from corporate, and as you know, I had 20 plus years in healthcare. And, those organized systems have lots of resources and lots of tools and systems that make things work. And when you're a team of one or a small business owner, you don't have those solutions to tap into right away or quite so easily. And so I think that there's great value in understanding that beautiful vision that you have in your mind as a new entrepreneur, everything is going to take longer than you're expecting. Every single thing. And to really build that into your creation plan, your development plan, and even your launch plan. It works beautifully in your mind, but when you go to translate it into many moving parts that all impact each other, it can become complicated. And until you're able to really convey it clearly in a way that the vendors and the partners and the clients and the collaborators can understand, it takes time to work out those bugs, to get to the clarity and be able to share it in a way that people quickly recognize its value and say, yes, me too, I want to jump on board in whatever way that makes sense. But give yourself time, because, if we get impatient with ourselves or with other people, that just gets in our way. Wrong kind of energy to be inviting into the day. It just makes everything feel more complicated. And so having patience and really some compassion with ourselves, because it's a big lift moving into creating your own vision and turning it into a system that impacts lives and generates income and expands and grows with time. It takes a minute. So give yourself that proactively going in.
A minute.
A minute.
So with that, how important is having a support system and a collaborative team to an entrepreneur, a solopreneur? Because some of the things goes back to what you're talking about, the way that our emotions are in, and we're worried about, I can't afford it, I don't have the money, I don't have time. How much time do you think you could shave off of somebody's growth journey by working with them?
Interesting question. I would say that choosing the right networks to get involved in, there are many, many, many options out there, and each of them have certain value. And so depending upon what you're looking for value, for example, is it access to customers that you're looking for through your networking? Is it connections with like-minded people that you could strategically partner with, maybe in a joint venture or a bigger collaboration? Are you looking to sell? Is there opportunity to move from chapter to chapter, location to location? Really, the network choice is big, really, really big. And so depending upon what the goal is for the new business owner, I think choosing the correct network could quickly save 6 months of time and energy. For real, I do. The other thing is shortcuts. I love shortcuts and I love leverage. And so there's shortcuts to find like-minded people, like-minded customers, like-minded peers, like-minded business owners. And one of the complimentary offers that I have is really tapping into a shortcut to find those like-minded people. We all understand the power of the phone and a personal connection or something like this where we can at least hear each other, if not see each other in addition, right? But when we take the time to personally reach out to somebody and can quickly determine if they're someone who aligns with our vision and our thought process, our goals, quickly, the power in that, it becomes a ripple effect. And so you connect with one person and invite them into a conversation that opens up many other doors. And this tool is easy to use because it genuinely taps into your personal passion and it invites that positivity into the conversation. So I'll share that at the end if people want to tap in.
Oh, it sounds like I want it, and I don't even know what it is. So who would be the people who would benefit the most from working with you? I know you mentioned, your ideal client, and everybody should know who their ideal client is. So who is your ideal client?
Thank you for asking that. I appreciate that. My ideal client are entrepreneurs that are service-based businesses or holistic practitioners, life coaches, those kinds of people who are really inviting folks in to change something in their lives, enhance their lives in some way. And that emotional journey that the customer goes through, it's really quite critical. And so by helping them utilize an emotional guidance scale and understand the emotional challenges that come with that business owner's solution, and proactively inviting the customers into what to expect in a way that is powerful and impactful, not only at the time of the purchase, but through each stage of interaction. We have many of those business owners have people who maybe interact at a low price product or an early entry point, and then they fall off. And it costs, I think it's 65% more to attract a new client than to retain an old client. Then add on the fact that a client that we've been working with for a bit tends to move to a higher price point, double whammy on the impact to our revenue. And so retaining the clients that we work so hard to attract, ensuring that they're satisfied, ensuring that they're applying the tools and the skills and the strategies that we're teaching in a way that shows the value, shows evidence. It's critical. And so inviting the customers into measuring with you, what is the satisfaction? What is the outcome? What can I expect as the bumps in the road that are going to be potentially coming up? And proactively preparing together how to get through those moments of resistance. Those are my ideal clients. If you have people who are buying courses and not finishing them, they're leaving dissatisfied because they didn't finish it. They didn't get to see your value. And so there's even an opportunity for business owners to circle back to people that they know didn't finish and reapproach them with another opportunity to circle back and try again. And let's take a different approach this time. Some build into some support into it to get them through whatever the emotional trigger was that was too difficult for them to overcome and continue on in the course.
Wow, that's really interesting, because I work with a lot of people in media and with helping them get on TV and radio and create content. And oftentimes the advice that I give is make sure you repurpose it. Yes. And they literally have blocks on sharing, for example. And I mean, it's just literally a push of a button. Share your TV appearance, share your radio appearance, share your podcast. And people, they'll do it maybe once, and then they go, oh, everybody saw it. I don't want to. And it's like, no, not everybody saw it. Maybe 5% did that. And again, that's probably a high number today. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting when you talk about these emotional obstacles and blocks, and most people don't talk about that. And do you work with people who are in the spiritual world? I want to ask a direct question, because I work with a lot of people who are in the energy worker space or light worker space. They often have trouble coming up with what they're actually selling and asking for money for it. If you were working with them, how would you talk to them? What advice would you give those people who are working in that intangible space?
Yes.
Energy.
Yes. So I personally see our emotions as a guidance system. Inner guidance tied to whatever spirit people believe in. I don't profess to, what anybody should believe, but I know most people believe that we have some instinctual gut. So if it's only that, just instinctual gut, never mind if there's a spiritual energy tied to it, our emotions are personal to us. And so as those energy workers or those light workers are trying to open people's minds and hearts really to the influence of light and love and positivity, joy and freedom and growth, all those things, the emotions are the key to get them there. And when we can give customers concrete tools that help them to discern their own way, in addition to what the expert is offering, there's value in that. There's hands-on, let me see it, touch it, taste it value. It becomes concrete evidence again, right? We measure as we're going through. And so as those experts are leading people through change, leading people through conversation that adjusts thinking and shifts mindsets, and then we tie it to a metric, a measurement of some kind, it's easy to see the value, and therefore it's easy to charge.
Wow. That sounds like a conversation that I know many healers or energy workers who need that type of business acumen.
Give me a call.
Well, because that's the thing is if you look at people who are connected to the divine, the God of your understanding or nature or energy, most of the time they're up here and they're not connected to that logic or that system process because they operate at a different
level.
Level. And believe me, there's sometimes, where I feel like I'm flying this kite, and you know how you reel the kite string in when the kite starts going, and I'm like reeling it in, trying to keep it under control. And that's kind of how a lot of my relationships with spiritual type people are, because I'm trying to pull them down to get grounded into, you need to ask for money. You need to be hired to do this work. And it's okay to ask for money, because that is a whole nother topic about the value and the worth of that. So,
Tammy, let me add one other thought to that, because it's well-timed, well-primed for me to mention this. The other struggle that many of those types of experts fall into is connecting with their customers in a way that they feel understood, because they are functioning sort of at a different level, a different frequency. And so thinking back to what the pain points are and what they really feel like for the customer that has not found the solutions that they know is critical. And by going through this emotional journey work together, they will recall and be able to position the why I can relieve that pain and reconnect with it in a way that the prospects will hear it and feel inspired to take action. So sorry, I didn't want.
That's really great value, because I'm asking you, it's like how they say, I'm asking for a friend. Well, I really am asking for many friends.
Yes.
Many real clients who have this struggle, because I'm working with them and I'm always trying to get them to see that there's different ways to look at this, and that what they're selling may not be the energy, that may not be what the product is at all. It may be delivered with that energy, but the energy might not be the product.
Right.
And so that's the part why I'm asking these questions, because I know that people are going to listen to this and say, oh, I get it. I need to go talk to Jodi. And what my question was, working with you, what would it look like, feel like? How would we start?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. I have a paid strategy consult, one on the emotional journey of the customer, and one more about the value of your business and the questions that you're asking yourself about how to invest time, energy, money, all of those kinds of things. And so I could make those offers available to anybody that's interested. It is a standalone consult. So for $97, we could connect and you would walk away with value that you could immediately apply and not have to take another step. Or you could take a deeper step into one of the sister circle collaborations. Those are the businesses of six businesses, independent businesses, that are put together in a purposeful, strategic way to learn and apply together some of these tips and tools and strategies that are tied to my system. Again, everybody's independent business goals are tended to in this collective effort. So we do the emotional journey work as part of the HerQuest sister circles. So if they choose that route, they sort of get both. They get the benefit of both. The emotional journey curriculum, the collaboration curriculum that offers structure around what is the collaboration really all about, what's the vision of it collectively, but the details of who's going to do what. Most people have had a failed collaboration in the past. And so we're trying to overcome that as they're making their decision as to what's in it for me, right? And so the structure that is tied to the metrics, the structure that's tied to a contract that spells out how many hours, who's going to be responsible for what, how do we monitor the revenue that's generated from anything shared, and what's the timeline of the commitment? How long is it going to take for us to be able to feel, see, and taste some revenue that's going to come from this, Can we hit something on a smaller scale, maybe 2 or 3 weeks into the relationship, and build with a plan for a higher priced item at the end of the 12 weeks? It's a 12-week commitment for people to go through that work together. I also have individual clients. Of course, that's a little more costly, but they're people who don't really have 5 other collaborative partners that we could immediately tap into. An example of that is a high-risk pregnancy photographer that is going into the hospital systems and photographing the women who are missing out on their baby showers and sitting in a boatload of stress in the hospital bed, waiting to see if their baby is going to be safe or not. And so she brings in this powerful experience of doing hair and makeup and looking like a goddess. You should see her pictures. And infusing mom-to-be, dad-to-be, grandparents, their whole circle with this ripple of positivity from this amazing experience. The hospital benefits, the nurses benefit, and most importantly, baby benefits. Because we know when mom feels good, baby feels good too. So that was so unique, we had to do that one-on-one. And so she just served a whole bunch of women on Mother's Day. And that's really getting off the ground quite well. It's been fun.
Oh, wow. Well, since you brought that up as an example, do you have any other examples of what this sister what is the name of it? The Sister Circle.
Yes, I'm calling it the HerQuest Sister Circle, a unique business alliance. That's what my little tagline is. I do have another example. There are some folks that they have bricks and mortar. Think of a spa, a high-end spa. And they have their own traditional marketing plan to pull people in. And they're sort of standalone. One of the models is that bricks and mortar pays me on retainer, and I go find the other 5 businesses that could integrate with the bricks and mortar, in this example, the spa. And so we are going to be partnering with, this is live and happening quickly, we're going to be partnering with 5 life coaches who see the value of that emotional journey and recognize that when someone is in the more negative end of the spectrum and they're in depression or fear, great anxiety or worry, it immobilizes the mind. Fear paralyzes the mind in a way that it's difficult to shift out of. And so by blending a physical treatment, a physical modality, with the life coach services, we can purposefully position those clients to go through some soothing treatments that relax the body and allow the mind to actually relax too. And then the life coach can really make it happen for that client, can engage in a way that they can absorb the life coach's value. Neither one can really do it on their own. And so we're building this live. If people are interested in being a part of that kind of a model, one bricks and mortar and other more virtual services, maybe face-to-face, one-on-one type deal, but they don't have the modalities or the equipment or the experts for the integrated other half. And so we're taking the life coach, the physical modalities, and blending them together in a very purposeful way, tied to wherever that client is on that emotional scale.
Wow. So this emotional scale, it sounds like that's a very important part of what you help people to understand is where they are and this whole emotional aspect of our business lives, I guess is a good way, because you're right. I mean, it's part of us, and each of us does have our own unique model of emotions. That's for sure. So if somebody wants to work with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Sure. So I'm happy to have a personal chat with anybody, and I can give out my cell phone here if that's okay.
Sure.
774-634-5298. And I can also receive an email at jhinkle, HINKLE, at HerQuest.net. It's HerQuest.net. And then the website is HerQuest.net, obviously. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to chat with anybody who just wants to really, take a look at, would this really help me? We can have that chat.
Cool. And you mentioned that you had a couple offers.
Yes.
I remember the one was some type of a call for $97. Tell me more about that.
I don't have that with me, and so I'm not going to be able to comment on that. Maybe I can add it into the chat or wherever we're going to post this later. But the two that we could start with that would actually lead to that offer as well. One is Business Synergy Solutions is the business-to-business line within HerQuest. And so you'll also see that domain as part of my content. And that passion-driven outreach call to connect with people and create that like-minded audience, that's available. The opt-in for that is available at businesssynergysolutions.com. And then the second one is, as we were talking about the networks, another example of paying attention to how we're investing our time and money is the events that we go to. And so I created an event optimizer. It's a way to prepare. You're already paying money for the ticket. You may be paying money for the hotel and the airfare. You're taking time out of your week, however many days, if it's a multi-day event. All of that adds up. And for me, I learned the hard way. I was running so fast and kind of running on empty. So I would show up at an event and try to receive the information there. I wasn't absorbing it. And so this is a step-by-step guide as to ways that you can focus ahead of time before the event. Maybe even reaching out to people before the event, setting the stage for success, planting seeds, arranging conversations, and not trying to get to everybody while everybody else is trying to get to them too. And so this is also a free opt-in, and that is the same businesssynergysolutions.com with a /event-optimizer.
Wow, I like that. So businesssynergysolutions.com /event-optimizer.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that I really like that concept because you're absolutely right. It's funny because as you were saying that, I'm going, yeah, there's Tammy scrambling the day before because I don't have the business cards. And the business cards for, I wanted to have just in case, even though, people have said, oh, you don't need business cards anymore. So I'm still scrambling. And then I get up at 3:00 in the morning, I'm exhausted.
Yes.
I get there and there's all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get all of these people to follow up with, and then you can't follow up because there's like not enough time.
Right.
And all of these different things that happen. And again, if you're pre-planning and you go in with the selection of who you're going to talk to and have these warm relationships so that when you get there, you can make real progress in that face-to-face environment. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Gee, Jodi, we're going to have to talk again.
I love that.
Because it's very, I think it's all very different than how most people think about doing business, especially as an entrepreneur. I really like the concept of that collaboration and of having someone there to help guide you. And you were very realistic about how much time it takes, because we have these ideas and we think, oh, it's only going to take, this little bit of time. And then all of a sudden a year's gone by, and we're still back where we thought we would be a month into it. And it's just, there's so many pieces to the puzzle, especially if you're used to being in a very structured corporate environment where you only are responsible for some little piece.
Right.
And now you're responsible for it all. So I can see the value of HerQuest. And
yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with me today. And everyone, go check out HerQuest and the Business Synergy Solutions.com. Also, Jodi Hinkle, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I've really had a fun time chatting.
Great. Thank you. Everyone, This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to Women Innovators with Tammy Patzer. To learn more, please go to womeninnovatorsradio.com. And please do subscribe and share to spread the big messages and big missions to change the world.